Hello, governors. Welcome to the Roxy Files. Hello, Shannon.
Hello.
Hello, governor. How are you today?
Here.
You're here? Hang on. I got
Here.
to get night sugars.
I'm here.
Love you. Bye. Love you. Good night. Say your prayers.
And
We just
how
did.
are you?
Fantastic, dear. We've been to volleyball tonight and out for ice cream with the team. And that's why I was a few minutes late, everybody. But we're done with volleyball. One more soccer game and rec season is over. We got Big E and Kent in the building. Hello, hello, lovelies. We are a few minutes early than what the schedule said, so we'll give it a couple of minutes. I don't think this ponytail's gonna work for me, Shannon, because it's like not stay. There we go. Just anyway, it's been a day. It's just been a day. It's been a week, everybody.
It's yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, it's been a week. Everybody's had an emotional roller coaster. While we're waiting on everybody to get here tonight, where are you at on your supernatural viewing journey?
I ended up going down other rabbit holes yesterday, so
Mm,
I didn't continue after episode 4, but season 5, episode 4.
I think I'm on six now. I think I've made it to six. I have to keep stopping and like thinking about what I'm watching because, like, you know how in there, like, the demon eyes turn black? And I saw this thing the other day and it was supposed. See my quotation marks? You know, it's entertainment purposes only, everybody. Supposed video of extraterrestrial creatures. If you'll notice all of those drawings that you see of them, they have these black eyes, which look just like the demon eyes in Supernatural, don't they?
And looks just like the demon eyes that I found in the Demon and I Pet Goat too.
Yup,
They're
right in front of you.
wow.
And
It's
if
even
we,
depicted in those statues, by the way.
yeah, like even the old statues,
Hmm.
because there was some, we were looking at some the other day. Remember the one I sent you in Clayton that looked like an old Ouija board?
Yeah.
When I go back to that guy's page now, you don't know whether these artifacts are real or not, but on that guy's page, he had all these statues and they were various types of aliens that, and they all had very unique eyes. Like some of them had the black looking eyes and they looked like glass. They did not look like they were part of whatever stone it was carved out of. I actually saw one. I saw one that had yellow eyes, Shannon. Imagine that, yellow eyes.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. It had like these reflective yellow eyes that lit up. Sound familiar?
Sure does. You know what character that is, too, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You
Sorry.
guys have got to watch Supernatural. If you've not watched it, just watch it with an open mind with the things you know about the monsters now.
So, just to kind of, I want to take this back for a second. I don't know who all has seen my testimony. It's like the first things I put up on Children of the Most High. But in that testimony, I am talking about how my son is literally talking to Azazel, and I know it's the fallen angel Azazel. And mind you, I think the only time I had ever heard that name or even knew anything about this character, biblically from the movie, what was it? Oh, with Denzel Washington. I can't think of it right now. It'll pop up in my head. But anyways, Azazel's the character in that hops from person to person and then like murders a bunch of people. Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
I digress. So in my testimony, I talk about how I actually am watching this being Azazel speaking to my son, who is like 2, 3 years old at this point. Like he is really young, and he is like teaching him about anger and and how to be like a warrior and to be, angry and warlike. Like he is teaching my son these things. And it's like I said, this is before I was saved, before I went into any of this kind of stuff. I did a lot of other weird research beforehand, went down a lot of rabbit holes, but it certainly wasn't Azazel or any of the fallen angels at the time. You know what I mean? So it just, I have a thing with Azazel specifically. Every time this person, this being comes into frame, I just think of that. I just think of seeing him and hearing him talking to my son about war,
Well,
to be angry.
there's another monster in there, or set of monsters, which has drawn my attention because I know we all keep talking about that we think we're in Revelations. We're at the end. The four horsemen of the apocalypse. You got death,
Mm-hmm.
which we can equate to the sticky thing. That whole scenario of death, the mass death. Then you got pestilence. Well, we seem to be having ticks everywhere, which are giving people like meat allergies. I don't know if y'all have seen these people who have actually come in contact with some of these ticks. I saw a guy the other day from the top of his head to right here in his neck. He is like red and blistered and
Mm-hmm.
hived. Hey, Wayne the Pain.
You don't even have to consume it. You could just be
Mm-mm.
around.
Touch you. Yeah. Isn't it amazing how old Billy Boy's got lab meat growing too, and he's also in charge of the dang ticks. I said dang. I didn't want to say dang, but I said dang. But our next horseman is war. War never stops on this plane of existence that we're on. And then you got famine. Well, when we come to the four horsemen on famine, let's see. Has anybody paid any attention to this?
Now, first off, I have to point this out right now. Look at California. Just look at California. Okay? Since whenever have we not had drought? And the rest of you guys do. What in the
Mm-hmm.
heck?
Like all of our rivers and lakes and stuff over here are like super dry. Like we should be having May showers right now. Like we should be having scattered thunderstorms, things of that. We are not. We are not having scattered thunderstorms. And over in my area, we don't normally have all of this. If you'll look right here down toward Georgia, look at that burgundy spot across it in Florida. That is exceptional drought. Where I'm at and the upstate is in an extreme drought.
See,
Well,
that's what California has always looked like. So, what is going on?
mm, and what is going on with this El Nino
That was what
situation?
I was gonna ask.
All right, let's look at. There's supposed to be a massive El Nino gathering up out there. But see, the problem is when you're in an extreme drought and then you have extreme water, it causes its whole different set of problems. A rapidly developing super El Nino is expected to heavily influence global weather for 26 into 27. Equatorial Pacific sea surface temperatures are surging, places the probability of a strong to very strong El Nino event emerging by summer and peaking in the winter. U.S. warmer, wetter winter and the Atlantic hurricane season. El Nino increases vertical wind shear in the Atlantic, which suppresses tropical storm and hurricane development. Uh, I was looking at what it's saying about food security, severe droughts in Southeast Asia, Central America, intense flooding in South America. I don't know. When we come back to old boy right there with the famine on the four horsemen, like a heck of a drought, you know, would cause one humdinger of a famine. And we know already that they can manipulate everything to control the weather. So if you can control the weather, you can control the crops. As if it isn't already enough that the Chinese own all that farmland. Go ahead.
You knew I was going to say something. I have a question.
Ask me, my love. Ask me. Hey, Miss K.
When does death appear?
Death. I don't know. Is there an order of the four horsemen?
War shows up first.
That's right. War shows up first in the red on the red horse, the red Mustang. Um, the angel of death is the oldest and most powerful member of the four horsemen, having existed. Now, I'm reading off the supernatural fan
Right.
Wikipedia here. I'm not reading out the
Oh,
Bible, folks. We're talking about the
I
show.
just need to know. I need to know the time frame.
Hang on. Let's go back over here so they can see what I'm reading because I'm not in the Bible. We're talking about the TV
Yeah,
show.
TV show.
During the days of the apocalypse, death was bound to Lucifer and awaited for the Winchesters to find him. Death then willingly gave Dean his ring in order to stop Lucifer and put him back in the cage. After the fallen archangel was defeated, Dean reached out to Death and offered to give the Pale Horseman back his ring in exchange for taking Sam's soul out of the cage.
Because is
So
that
he
the
must have been.
pale horseman? Or
Yes, Death is the Pale Horseman. War rides a red horse. Um,
but see, this is what I'm wondering. Because technically, in this, isn't one of them supposed to technically represent the Antichrist? In biblical terms.
no. Um, I don't think so. The
Well, yeah,
Antichrist is a
because
whole
it has
separate
the
creature.
well, I mean, because the way it describes it, and it talks about with the man with the bow and that whole
Yeah.
thing. I have to do
Well,
some more.
and this is
It's
another
usually
thing.
pinned up together. Like most people seem to kind of put those together. But the reason why I asked was because I'm curious if it is the same angel of death that was the one who spread the plagues upon Egypt, and the one who took the firstborn son and like in the final.
Well, see, do you all right, we talk about the gifted and talented program all the time and how they were looking for psychic super soldiers.
Right.
Well, you remember in the first of this show that the yellow eyed demon Azazel was going around to these gifted kids and putting demon blood in their mouths to
Yeah.
make them super psychic soldiers.
Yes.
Hello, Clayton, my lovely. You should be driving right now. I think he's driving. He said he'd be with us, but his service may be sketchy,
Got
but
it.
he is with us. But yes, Clayton, I know you're listening. If you're caught up, you've been busy with your stuff, so I have not bothered you with this. But this television show has intrigued me and Shannon because there are an extreme amount of sigils shown all throughout these things, and we want you to take a look at some of them because you are our in-house um, cryptologist, I guess we'll
It is
say.
100% based on those grimoires that the Catholic Church has been hiding. I'm sorry, but you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I was gonna look on here. This is not what we got on here to talk about, guys. We were gonna talk about our project to bury the truth,
Yeah.
but we got most of the
Or
crowd I think's in the room now.
you were talking about how Azazel, the super soldiers and the
Yeah, and this show and like I've said before, I've watched this show start to finish many times. This is my rerun. This is my Golden Girls used to be. Um, and I never saw it the way I see it now. Like my whole is different. I see things in here and what it means. In this show, the Antichrist is the little boy. Remember him? They go to find him.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, you have. Well, no, 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 no. I'm sorry. You haven't seen it yet because
I was
you're
like,
here
what?
behind me.
Remember that? What do you mean?
My bad. Shh. My bad.
Dang my
Mm,
memory.
my bad.
Okay.
I'll be quiet.
Well, you already just keep
He's
going.
a little boy in this show, but the Antichrist is supposedly a completely different thing than um Lucifer and Michael and all of that. This
Oh
is just
yeah. I mean, he is. He's the son of, right?
yeah, he in the TV show there was a woman that was possessed by demons and she had never been wrestling. I keep trying to keep this family friendly, everybody. She had never wrestled before, and a demon possesses her, and she becomes pregnant. And as soon as she has the baby, the demon like goes out. And if you've ever seen the show, it's like black smoke that comes out of their mouth, and then they come back like 10, 12 years later looking for the kid.
Hmm.
But he's like super powerful. He can like close his eyes and think of anywhere he wants to be and be there. He can also turn you into a mini figurine if you get on his nerves. Just saying.
Got it.
And like in this thing, they have when you're on the fan weekend, you're looking at organizations. One of the organizations they list is the Thule, which is completely based off of the Soul, the
What?
Real Society.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the Thule like is in
Yeah,
the said it. Got it.
see, because the first thing they show you right there, look at there. Well, if the stupid screen will stop trying to show us some Tom Cruise advertisement, nobody cares about that
No,
wacky idiot.
that guy. No one
Not at
likes.
all. But I mean, all of this stuff ties into history. And the dude that wrote this is connected to the X Files and what else, Shannon?
Pluribus.
Yeah, Pluribus. Um, they're all tied in.
All tied together. Every single one. Which so okay. Roxy, see, this is what's cool, right? Is Roxy was the one who nerded out on Supernatural. I'm the one who was obsessed with X Files. I watched every single episode, probably 50 times over at least. Me and my husband will still put on some and be like, yeah, let's watch some X Files. So, putting those two together between us, but we also watched Pluribus together and broke that down when we first kind of started rolling in on all this. And it's just kind of wild.
Yeah, when you start taking one show and connecting it to another, and you see that 75% of what you're watching on the screen is the truth. But until we were awake, we would have never known that this was the truth. We would have just thought these were some monsters, you know what I mean, that somebody
Yeah.
created a story about. No, they took the Bible and turned it into the story of what's supposed to happen here at the end into a TV show.
Do you see that sigil right there?
I do. That's the men of letters. You've not got that far yet.
No, you know what's interesting is because Clayton and I, because we were both really big super fans of Tool. Obviously not so much anymore, but we've kind of gone down the train on Danny Carey. He's the drummer of Tool, who
Hmm.
has been very, very outspoken about, yes, he does rituals in his shows to bring about demons upon people. His dad was a master mason. He never necessarily supposedly became one, but carries on the traditions, and he's really obsessive with Crowley and the 13 crystal skulls and all of this stuff. But he uses that sigil in part of the sigil that he created for himself. He has
Hmm.
his very own that he's created. And when I was trying to figure out, what that was associated with, I found out that that symbol is what connects the 369 harmonics
Mm-hmm.
together. What and that which is interesting about that, because Tesla always said, derived off of the book of Matthew somehow, that
All
if you
right.
knew the secret of 369 in harmonics, you knew the secret of creation. And it's just interesting that they're using this sigil.
This is called now. We're like I said, we're talking about a TV show, so I don't know if any of this is accurate. But a lot of times we can use it for the roadmap to get us in the right direction. But this, which okay, this comes up in like season 8. They're called the Men of Letters, and I'll tell you more about them in a second. But this
Okay.
is evidently called the Aquarian Star.
Right.
The Men of Letters were a British thing. Sam and Dean Winchester in this show are two brothers that hunt demons and evil things, and werewolves and vampires and all of that stuff, and kill them. In season 8, they come upon this bunker. Um, and these bunkers are all over the place. And inside of these bunkers are all kind of books of research and grimoires, and like all throughout history, it has been preserved in these bunkers for future generations to know what the monsters were, which still brings us back to our current topic of burying the truth. They secret societies forever have been holding their own secrets, like we talk about the Vatican and the
Mhm.
Smithsonian, and it's all
So
buried.
so they're technically then in an essence telling you that they are holding the secrets of the 369 harmonics.
Mm-hmm. And all right, let's see. Let's look at their power and knowledge. They knew about. They knew more about supernatural than even veteran hunters.
Snowball, you're awesome. First off, I have to share this comment. The truth is out there in the basement of some unknown storage room. 100%. But yeah, I just had to say that. Oh, hi. I don't know what I did because
I
I
got
am
it.
so technically awesome. But yeah, wanted to share that comment. Didn't mean to disrupt the vibe.
Okay, Clayton's already on it. He says he's going to send something for. See, in-house expert, folks. We have experts in the house.
Yeah.
When we have if anything is drawn in like a diagram that looks evil, we just ask Clayton, like, what is this? He is the local symbologist. Um, but I mean, there's a lot of interesting information on here, and like I said, it's a television show, so you can only take so much of it for so much truth. But there's truth in this.
Well,
Like,
that's kind of how they do that, the indoctrination through, a lot of truth, but that 10% of lies and misinterpretation. It got quiet.
hmm, hmm. I was looking at a text, man.
And
You know who our texter is, so. But yeah, there's a lot of unique things in there. But one of the reasons, guys, we are bringing it up, I'm getting an echo from somewhere.
do not hear it.
It may just be me. But we want to talk about Project Bluebeam.
Blue brain?
Blue brain. The blue brain.
The other
Okay,
day.
listen, everybody. Y'all can puff pass because I can't. I'm indoors and I cannot find my vape. I have been like child friendly for like 4.5 hours now because I had like recreational sports. I got to be a citizen and everything. Can't be riding around with the children like that. But anyway, the Blue Brain Project was a groundbreaking Swiss scientific research initiative aimed at creating a biologically accurate digital reconstruction and simulation of the mammal brain. Guess who funded it? Would you like to take a guess, Shannon?
I want to say Obama so bad.
Well, the U.S. government
Okay. Was it
is.
under his administration?
This started. It was founded in 2005.
No, right before he come up on the scene. But it's interesting again because it's Swiss, right? And you know, we're talking CERN here, and then Obama comes out and just gets a Nobel Peace Prize out of nowhere, even though he was only a president for a couple months, and all kinds of interesting things happen around that same exact time, and so and it's interesting because then Obama has his brain project dealing with nanotech. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just
The,
thinking,
the what is it? The Obama Brain Institute or something?
yeah.
Well, I come across this, and I know we're all the time looking for these projects and stuff that they've done. And I came across this when I was looking into the neuroscience of how they've been mapping the brain. Now, mapping our brain is not a new thing. This has been going on. This project had been going on for 20 years in Switzerland. We ain't never heard nothing about it. And Shannon and I look into all of this stuff about the brains and what they've been doing because of what they done to us as gate kids, which I think is far deeper than we even imagined it was. I mean, I think we all thought it was pretty twisted, but I think it's like corkscrewed. It's so damn twisted.
Well,
But
I know for a fact, and I've done a, a bit more research on it just for confirmation, but I know as a child I was part of Project Looking Glass. So, I mean, a lot of us gate kids, I guarantee you, were part of some other military offshoot program. I
okay,
guarantee you.
well, this thing started in 2005 and it ended supposedly in December of 24. And what they did was they have taken and mapped everything in your brain as to how an emotion, intention, everything causes what lights up in your brain, for different things. And this is where I was telling you guys last night that you can't be anxious and grateful at the same time. Because the exact same, if you think of all the different neurons in your brain as light bulbs, the same light bulbs light up when you're anxious as when you're grateful. So the next time you feel yourself getting anxious or you got to go to a function and it's making you anxious, just start saying what you're grateful for. Even if it's I'm grateful for my house, I'm grateful for my children, I'm grateful for my shoes, I'm grateful for my car. Don't matter as long as you're in a mindset of gratefulness, you will push anxiety away. But heaven forbid they tell you it's that easy to hack your own brain because then they couldn't sell you the SSRIs, the Xanax, the Wellbutrin, the Effexor, all of this stuff to like dull you out.
So I noticed that Clayton sent us, some pictures of that particular symbol, not to kind of change the subject because I'm just throwing this
Man,
out.
are you driving, dude, and doing this?
I don't know if he is, but regardless, it's called the unicursal hexagram. But what's interesting about this in particular is it's created in one stroke. So, in other words, you're not picking up the pen; it's not separated like the original is like kind of a separated triangle with another separated triangle, but this is done in all one fell swoop. It's just I just thought I'd bring that up since he took the time to send it to us.
I told you he's our in-house expert, folks. Everybody give Clayton a round of applause because he's like instantly on it. Whoop whoop. He's that team member that Ever, we want to make sure Clayton gets his props on our show because he
Amen
be
to that.
on it. Let's see. The concept dates back to Blaise Pascal, 1639, hexagrammum mysticum, but the symbol was popularized in the early 20th century by Crowley. Imagine that.
I do that. Oh, Saliba. Oh, sorry. I hate it.
And everybody, just so you know, back here on our television show we be talking about, when you go up here and you look at the characters, well, those are main characters. Where is cast? Oh, browse all. Crowley is yeah. Oh, it's gonna give me their real name. I need their. I don't know his real name. I know his. There's Crowley. He's the king of hell, and he's in there. He's in this show, and he's in there for quite a few seasons. And he's Irish, and he's got an accent, and I truly enjoy hearing him talk, because y'all know I love to talk with an accent. Okay. Um, because it's drawn in a single line rather than two overlapping triangles, it emphasizes singularity and the harmonious blending of duality.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. And again, it's all about the 3, 6, 9 harmonics, which has a lot to do with the frequencies that they are using to
Mm.
do things. It's a frequency
It is
thing.
used in ceremonial magic and Wiccan practices for conjuring spiritual forces, creating intention, and establishing sacred spaces. Mm. It was adopted as the logo for the British rock band Bring Me the Horizon.
Interesting.
Hmm. See, we found all kind of interesting, odd stuff in this thing. Like, um, yeah, there's some characters in here and some storylines that I'm telling you, when you hear it and you see it, you're like, do what? Organizations, places, relationships, and spells. I don't want to get into all of that. But anyway, we were talking about the brain. I don't know how we got back to a hexagram.
Yeah. So that was my bad. I was
Oh, Clayton sent us a
yeah.
text. Duh, see, squirrel, puff, puff, pass. Puff,
Okay.
puff,
So
pass. Squirrel.
Project Blue Brain.
Project
What
Blue
we got?
Brain, yeah. Lord have mercy, y'all. Hang with us. It's Tuesday. Um, I didn't get to smoke. I'm telling you, I'm squirreling it over here. My ADHD is kicking it tonight. And I've left the camera off, guys, because when my brain's like this, I have to fidget with something. I think I look silly on screen, but they have mapped everything in our brain as to how your body reacts when it feels love or anger or sadness or grief or whatever. There are a lot of things in your brain that can't do the same thing at the same time. Well, this project, Project Blue Brain, actually ended in 2024 in December. When it ended, they brought in all the big tech giants and said, okay, we've got all this data now. Who's going to pay us big bucks to use it? Well, that switched into Open Brain Institute. The legacy and data infrastructure of the project transferred into OBI. It is a virtual laboratory where scientists globally can tap into the project's open source software of the global brain database. Like they have mapped everything in our brain. And once they started mapping that, they then know how to manipulate you. Hey, Diana. And I watched a guy this morning that was talking about one of these things, and he's like, and it kind of connected to the data centers and where they had been released first. And Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Everything they do is to try to manipulate us, whether it's through food or water or your brain or your music or your television. And I don't know, I'm starting to understand things through television show references. When I think of Antarctica as an ice wall, I start thinking about Game of Thrones and the dragons and the giants and the monsters on the other side. Like, some of that makes sense. Then I start watching Alien versus Predator. I'm like, and you can't see the predator. I think it's the is it the predator or the alien that you can't see in those movies? And it can like shape shift. It almost
Predator.
shimmers. Yeah. And we know that we have guys that are in the military that have tried using night vision of different colors and they can see them. Yeah, the Ukrainian flag is the sigil of Lucifer, the trident. Think RFB did the layout of the door opening at the Vatican. Makes the symbol. See, we just got a text that said that, and it says think RFB. And my brain went to RBF, resting bitch face. I'm like, wait,
You
what?
it.
Sorry. Sorry. I got the camera off, dude. I'd have cut the RBF off, but that's not what he was talking about. Oh, damn. Told you guys, it's been a day. But yeah, they're using everything to program you. And I'm onto this theory that I think they are trying to reprogram our water through these data centers. Water has memory. You can take a petri dish of water about a quarter of an inch deep, put it on top of a photo, and let it sit there a couple of minutes. Then stick it in the freezer. Come back in 45 minutes when that water has frozen. The image of the picture that was under the petri dish that it like saw or witnessed will be in the ice structure. Water has memory. They took all, okay, when you put copper in water in a swimming pool, you no longer need to use chemicals because it kills all the bad stuff and it restructures water. We know that drinking water out of copper restructures our water and wakes it back up and brings it back to life. So if you took the copper pipes out of our house to hurt us, didn't have anything to do with anything else. It was plain and simple. You were trying to take the healthy stuff, and now you're snatching all the water up for these, and if y'all can see my air quotes, data centers, which are nothing more than fusion centers. I think they're trying to reprogram the water. They're pulling the water in, molecularly changing the water, and then pushing it back out.
And I also still think too in that process they are retrieving ancient data from said water.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, water has memory, and we've looked at how um that, and I can't remember how small it is, but like an extremely small sample of human tissue can hold, store, and retrieve like several terabytes of information from a human cell. We are made up of 70% water, and I know that's not dead on accurate, but that's an estimate. If we're made of water and our cells, which are full of water, can hold, store, and transmit data, we are nothing more than a node in the system which they are trying to access. It's the internet of bodies. And they need to reprogram us to make us more controllable so you'll run on your hamster wheel a little longer. And there's one thing I've noticed, like watching this supernatural show. I think we've all thought about the apocalypse and the end times or Armageddon, whatever you want to call it. I think in our mind we have got to really start being better at unlearning. Shannon, just shout at me if you need to jump in on this, but
Deprogramming.
deprogramming. Like when we were children, okay, how many of us realized until we were at this point in our life and we woke up that the disciples of Jesus were people that had committed crimes, that they were the feral people like us, the people that had been through crap. This is part of my lessons and blessings conversation. Every lesson is a blessing because you gained wisdom from it, as long as you can point your brain in that direction. If you're riding your bike and you tap the front brakes, your bicycle, and you fall down and skin your knee, even though you fell and skinned your knee, you learned a lesson. Don't tap the front brakes. So now the wisdom of that is now a blessing because you won't do that again to skin your other knee. And that doesn't matter whether it applies to riding a bicycle, being married, a job, a drug addiction, an alcohol addiction, a bad family situation. Doesn't matter. Everything is a lesson, which should be a blessing because you gain wisdom from it. But that lesson, blessing, wisdom, you got to unprogram from what they told us as children. Because remember, in our mind, when Noah, we think it's just all this pretty picture where him and a couple of pairs of animals get on this boat and they're just sailing around and everything's hunky dory and the sunshine comes out and the world's all great again. It wasn't that pretty. They never told us that the disciples of Jesus were the roughnecks in life that had been through some crap. They couldn't be disciples until they had had the lesson, blessing situation go on. You can't take a child who has no concept. Okay, Project Looking Glass. When I go back and I research this, the soldiers that they were pulling to do it when they first did it, like, died very quickly after coming back. It had shattered their mind. But they eventually find out that children can go do it and they do not have the accelerated aging that the soldiers did. But that's because, and I had a conversation with a very dear friend of ours last night. I texted him something about this and he's listening. He knows who I'm talking to. That you have to be careful with a child because a child's mind is not set yet. Like, the world is open of possibilities. They could see a unicorn tomorrow and it wouldn't blow their mind like it would ours because our mind is already fixed and been programmed that unicorns are fake. But if you show a 9-year old a unicorn tomorrow, it's not going to traumatize them or break them because their mind is still open until their mind is set. You can't break their mind. You can bend it, but you won't break it.
Right.
You talk a minute, Shannon. I feel like I got on a soapbox there.
That's okay. Well, the thing too, the thing about children, and this is why a lot of the MK stuff, all of these things start. I mean, a lot of times, even in the womb, depending on what family you come from and how in it to win it they are. But this training, it's a process. They have found in this process that women or females tend to be stronger and can withstand more physical and psychological trauma than boys. And one of the things too that Crowley was obsessed with was that fact, and young boys, and why they were so powerful in black magic to abuse them, because there's a slight more innocence, I guess, in a young boy than a girl. I don't know. Either way, the females tend to withstand more, and a lot of the times when they're putting us through these programs as children, it's not just for them to gather information and to use us. It's also to train us and condition us throughout whatever training to be their little, black awakened soldier on their team too. So it's fracturing the mind is it's a very delicate thing. And as you see with COVID, what that had done to fracture the minds of everyone in this world in some way, shape, or form, it's just unfathomable, when you really think about it. But before that time, you could have never have predicted the long lasting effects of the fracturing that happened in that trauma, the mass trauma that everyone can actually connect to. So, like, think mass hallucination, we're dealing with mass trauma. And I had a conversation with Roxy earlier because I'm going through a lot of stuff with grief. I've lost a lot of people in, in the last several years. And just the amount of incapability of handling any kind of grief in that kind of way, of letting go, of having a service in honor of someone in their life, right? It's almost gone out the window. I know so many people who just can't even handle it, and there's no services for anybody. And it used to be such a deep reverence in culture and in society to have a closing moment to say goodbye, because the psychological trauma of never having closure can have a long lasting effect on your grief.
Absolutely.
And it's already hard. And it's just insane to me how just kind of, I don't want to say callous, but just how
Casual.
yeah, it's just like no big deal. There was a young girl that I watched grow up. She was 21 years old when she passed away. And there still hasn't been a service. They keep telling us there's going to be one, but I'm just at this point like, whatever. It's insane to me. And even the death industry, just in general, like what they're doing, and that is absolutely insane since that all happened. But the
We
fracturing,
Yeah,
what?
we could take a whole side quest on funeral homes.
Yeah.
Mm, mm.
you know, we've talked before on this show about
The factory.
the boxes and the factories and the meat consumption that may
Hmm.
not really be animal. You know, Satan's hemorrhoid, that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Well, since 2020, it wasn't like this before, but now we're talking, it has hit the death industry. So you need to make sure your loved one is not only A, in that casket, but B, you watch them bury that casket. I'm just going to say that out loud.
Just cremate me.
Even still, no, you think that's no, girl, you
Listen,
don't know if those are your loved ones' remains.
but listen. See now, I'm not trying to offend anyone out here. Please don't take this as my opinion is law, or I'm trying to offend anyone. That's a meat suit. I ain't in there.
Oh,
Burn it. When I get okay, when I take a frozen pizza out the box and I take the plastic wrapper off of said pizza, I cook my pizza, I eat my pizza, I throw the box away. The box needs to be returned to where it came from. This is a sealed system which must recycle. So I don't believe in burying people in vaults, in mausoleums, and I really don't even believe in caskets
see,
because
ah, you're talking. See, that's a wonderful way of doing it. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. You want to be ashes, I just want to be dust. I'm like, you just anoint me with some oils, shroud me in some white linen, put me in a
fuego.
simple pine box, and
Girl,
bury me in the dirt. Put
I
a
want to. I want to go out like Viking style, floating on a boat, and somebody shoots an arrow.
Viking stat. What you want to like bring your dog in on it? And like, I mean, there were extra people in that funeral pyre. I'm just throwing that out
Well, no,
there.
I like the Viking idea where they put them on this small boat, and then they like cast them out into the water and they shoot an arrow to set the
Yeah,
boat on fire.
but what they don't tell you is in that ceremony, your pet and a virgin gets to come along on the ride.
Please, please don't kill a virgin that has never experienced the wonderful life of wrestling. Please don't kill him on my benefit. Everybody should wrestle as an adult before they leave this plane of existence. Please don't harm any virgins on my account.
See, this is why I'm like, no, just throw me in a pine box. Don't pump me full of anything.
I
Stick
actually
a,
want to be,
stick a
and I know this
tree.
sounds
I'll be
crazy,
a
y'all.
hello tree.
This is my actual, and I have told my children this, I have told everybody, and I'm making it public right now. When I die, I want to be cremated. I want to be put in a 5-gallon bucket. You can pick one up out the yard. Ain't got to be nothing special. Pour my bag of ashes in it. Put that bucket in the back of a pickup truck. Go get a 6-pack. Sit on the tailgate of the truck and drink said 6-pack, and then ride down the dirt road and just let me fly away in a place that I loved. I don't love nothing better than riding a dirt road. Pull over in a field and just have a conversation. But I want to go out like that. Like my dad did not want to be buried, and he was buried. Not, I didn't. We're gonna leave it right there.
I understand.
Um, hey Tennessee Trasher, he wanted to be cremated and spread in our backyard, and he was not. He did not have a bad funeral. He had a beautiful funeral, and was carried to the cemetery in the back of the race car trailer, and we done a burnout. But that was, as you can see,
I
which
want
I
it.
don't know if you can
All
see or
right.
not, but yeah, we like burnouts. It was fantastic. But just turn me into dust, man, and let me go. Because the important part of me
Yeah, it's
is
gone.
already gone.
It's gone.
That's just a meat suit.
It
Yeah,
just
the worms got to eat too, ain't they?
it disturbs me how much the funeral industry takes advantage of grief
Well,
and
it's
talk
trauma. They're
you
going to
in.
profit from trauma.
Right, and they talk you into all these fancy things that are just unnecessary, unless that is something that you know for a fact your loved one says, I want this fancy thing. I want this because trust me, my mother has been telling me since I was 5 all the things she wants for her her celebration of life, including bagpipes, whatever. But you know, just they take advantage of you, and then a lot of them, you just got to really do your research on who is behind each and every one of these places. And if anyone here in SoCal what needs to know, I do happen to know of one of the most reputable places that I will trust with me. The only place I will trust with me. So just so you know, they
Okay,
are
guys,
not
give me,
meat grinders.
keep these headstone epitaphs coming in because I'm enjoying these. See, I actually had this one spot in my life when I was probably, early 20s and was kind of walking around with the 2 fingers up, toward the whole world. I used to have a license plate that went in the back glass of my car, and it said, "When I die, please bury me upside down so the whole world can kiss my rear end." That's just me. I mean, all day, every day. I want to be buried upside down so the whole world can kiss my ass.
See, I just want to have a tree and a little recipe on mine and a little scripture. But I want my grandma's sauce recipe on my gravestone. I want to be
Oh
able
my
to share
gracious.
that with everyone who
See,
wants
and this,
to
the
come and
whole
visit.
cost of it blows my mind. There are people out there that spend, and funerals start in the $12,000 to $15,000 range. No, girl, don't be spending me on that. Get you an in-ground pool, or if you whatever kind of pool you can afford with that money. Go get you a new car. I don't want my kids spending that kind of money to put me in the dirt in a box where I ain't never gonna rot.
No. It's
No.
more along the lines of the celebration of life though. Like that I just hope that people can put their brains back together enough to at least celebrate their loved ones because it's a closure. It's a way to help with your grief because I said so many times before that grief can put you in a super dark place and you are willing to make deals with the devil.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot stress this enough because I've seen this so many times. And let me tell you, it brings out the worst in people. That's when all the greedy little
Hello.
people come in and like
Hey.
my dad died $64 in debt, and let me tell you there are still people trying to be like, can I have this of his, can I take this? I'm like, dude, are you for real? A lady pretty much snuck in and took his apartment out from under my brother because my grandparents were not all there because of grief. Like, I'm telling you, grief is a very, very sticky thing. And if everyone grieves differently, it has a huge effect on everyone. And it breaks my heart. It's all right.
Well, Snowball made the comment that my grandma might not be happy or pleased that I was just giving it to everyone, talking about my booty being up so they could all kiss it. No, dear, you don't understand who my grandmother was, because my grandmother thought it was freaking hilarious and was the one that bought the license plate to go in my back window. She actually saw it when I bought my first car with my own money, my Z28 I had. She bought it. It was a license plate like you could put on the front, but I had the rubber nose on it, so I had to stick it in the back glass. I'll never forget it. It was yellow and it had a little daisy on the side of it. Says when I die, bury me upside down.
Pushing up daisies.
Yep, pushing up daisies. Let's see. Yeah, my grandma would know. Y'all, if my grandma was here today, she'd be sitting over here beside me talking just as much trash as I am. Because she is where I learned to talk it from. She didn't give a flying rat hoot nanny who thought water cared. She
See,
said exactly what was on her mind.
it's so funny because I can tell on both sides of your family, you had quite the characters. Where as my mom's side of the family, I've always described them as the little saints or the little angels. And then there's my dad's side of the family, the little devils. And there's me.
No, girl.
I'm right in the middle. I'm the smack in the middle, girl.
There's been a good portion of my life that seemed like multiple episodes of the Jerry Springer show. We've
I
had a
know.
little Dr. Phil, a little Maury. We haven't had too many who is my baby daddy. But yeah, we've had some. We've even had some, Geraldo chair throwing moments at family events. But we're just passionate people, Shannon.
I may live in Pink Hairville, but you live in Cherry Springerville. And where's the in between? Where's the middle guy?
I don't know, probably an insane asylum somewhere about Texas. There's some crazy things that happen in life. I mean, oh, y'all, I have not even told y'all. Oh, I have to share this with the world. I actually sat in my car today and questioned whether I needed to take myself for an evaluation, possibly a 72-hour hold at the emergency room. Willie was coming by this morning to help put a dock in the pond. While I'm waiting on him to get here because we got to go get lumber, uh, I had to go to Speedway. I was out of Marlboro Lights. And the Speedway at my house is normally not too busy, but we do have bike weeks coming in and out. We had the Harley bike week, and now it's more of the sport bike weeks that are coming in for Memorial Day. I walked in the store, and as I walked into the Speedway, there's a man about my age in a yellow safety vest and a headset. Figured he was driving, truck. He has this look on his face, which scared me. The shock on his face, I thought the store was being robbed. Like that was my initial instinct is, oh man, I have walked into the store and somebody is robbing it. But immediately, within milliseconds, I heard this voice. And I turned and looked at what he was looking at. It was a girl, female, woman, who looked like she might have been in her mid 20s. She was African American, very, very well built woman. Up top was kind of Dolly Partonish, and downstairs was very voluptuous and round, tiny waist. She had on a pair of white leather boots, which come above her knees, and had like 5-inch heels on them that weren't any wider than a pencil. She had so much makeup on her face that she looked fake, intentionally fake, with a white bikini looking top that was leather and like a little cheerleader skirt, nothing around her midriff and nothing between her butt cheeks that were hanging out and those boots she was wearing. As if that was not shocking enough. The man she was with looked like a pimp from the late 80s of possibly Detroit or some, very urban area, and he had a leash on her. It was a narrow leash,
That's every day in LA.
hooked to her waist. Her heels were so high she could not walk in them. So she was kind of on her toes, just like scooting her feet along in the store. And he picks up a bag of chips and he's like, here's some strawberry, whatever it was. He said, do you want these? And she goes, I don't know if I like the way that tastes, Daddy, with her hands like this. Everybody in the store at this point is so struck that we're not quite sure if this is real. I walked to the counter and told the lady what I needed, and I had to hand her $100 bill and she had to wait on change. We couldn't function. That poor woman couldn't even count my change back to me. I went and got in my truck and asked myself if I was hallucinating because I had smoked before I left here. I literally thought I was hallucinating. Y'all, there are people out there walking around in the world that looked like he was pulling his robotic play toy around on a leash. And to explain to y'all that this man was wearing a late 80s pimp costume is an understatement. I I was just awestruck.
Yeah, this is again California spreading over there. What's going on?
Girl, we see some stuff down here on some bike week. She called him daddy. He might be her pimp Mike. I don't know. It was odd. I was awed. And I was actually asked by Willie because like time I got back to the house, the phone rang and it was him telling me he was on the way. And he's like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, just give me a minute. I got to process." He's like, "And you didn't get a picture?" I'm like, "Dude, I was so dumbstruck. I was having trouble breathing. I was not worried about no picture. I didn't have my phone on me in the store. It was in the truck. When I got in the truck, I had to make the 3/4 of a mile journey back to my home without having a stroke. It was a lot. And I'm sorry I did not get pictures of that. Y'all gonna have to forgive me. But that has to be the oddest thing I've ever seen. Like there it had to be some like kink kind of I'm
Girl,
traumatized. No other way to put it. I'm traumatized.
girl. So, like, remember how I mentioned I grew up around perversion? Like, that's how
Mm-hmm.
it is around here. So, Southern California, even in San Francisco, like the NorCal, there is just some super insanely wild folk out here, okay? And we literally have clubs called perversion. We have had there are clubs out in LA where there's just anything and every you can find anything and everything just around the corner, and they don't mind coming outside in the daylight.
Sorry, I got a text message. My niece was texting me. There's been some kind of shooting down the road. She's, I don't know, concerned about who it was. I don't know. I've seen a lot of reports of people who seem to be kind of on the edge of tilting toward the the cuckoo side. Those very angry people, a lot of them on the left, are acting out, and like I've seen a couple of people like had to call the law on their neighbors. So, and this is what I was trying to say a while ago before we got completely sidetracked on seven other squirrels. Puff puff pass, by the way, everybody. But you got to start watching people because everybody thinks about the apocalypse or Armageddon as being all of these massive chaotic events that happen all at once and the world's going to look like hell on earth. They don't want, okay, the people, they don't want you freaking out because then you won't go to work. All of this hell that's coming here, it's like one thing after another and the world is in chaos, but they only want to put enough of it in front of you to keep you traumatized, not incapacitated. Because if you incapacitated, you ain't out there running on your hamster wheel. Like they don't want to traumatize you that much. They want to try to keep the world functioning. Because if they don't have people at Star Sluts making their coffees, the people who are trying to Armageddon us are going to be upset. Just saying. Like they ain't gonna do it all at once. Sorry, trying to text my niece back, and my phone won't work. It won't even spell the slang I want to send her. Anyway, but yeah, it like they're not gonna. It's not gonna be like I don't know and that's what we're talking about unlearning and burying the truth. We need to start documenting the actual truth in writing and we need to put it somewhere like they've done up under the Vatican and the Smithsonian and men of letters. And even if it's only to preserve it for your future generations, put it in writing. If it's digital, it can be instantaneously altered by artificial intelligence. Write it down. Your grandma wrote her recipes down and left them for her family. Write the truth down. I don't care if you go get a box of index cards and write the truth down on it for your children, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, your brothers, your whoever, and leave it. What's the worst that happens? When you're behind croaks and somebody smokes you and spreads your ashes, that they're going through your junk one day and find this box and read these crazy writings. If there's 27 pages and one paragraph out of 27 pages strikes something, it wakes something up or it makes them curious, you done everything you were supposed to do.
And I want to take it even further than that. And like, I would like to create something like either in stone, metal, something that is not destructible over time, and like bury it in various places. Because who knows exactly what piece of land in this nation is going to stand. But if there's various little time capsules, if you will, little things around with truth, with information of what's really going on right now in this world and the truth about Jesus, at least there's something for the future that's not digital, that can't be changed or altered.
Well, I mean, we see how at the Council of Nicaea, they took all these books out of the Bible. They took all the supernatural stuff out because they didn't want you to have any concept that any of this stuff was real. Because if you didn't see about it or you didn't know about it, it cut off part of your belief system, your connection between you and the Father. And they made you just seem like he was some ghostly whisper up there in the sky that created everything. And the Bible is just an instruction manual for how to live your life. It is a history book to show you the lessons and the blessings and the wisdom. The parables are put in there so that everybody can pull the consensus of the general message out of it, but that parable is so that you can fit it to your life and the things that are going on, that you can equate and relate to the parables of the Bible. And we have to be very careful about, like I said, unprogramming. We've been told that, these creatures were chained up under the earth. Okay, well, when you say that, up under the earth, we think of earth as dirt. No, baby, earth is anything beyond sea level, so to speak, or ground level. It don't matter whether it's in dirt or water. Just think about that. Like, the words that they used back then in descriptions in the Bible. Okay, who is it that is it Enoch? I can't remember when he describes these in the future. At the end, he describes these things that look like a locust, but has a crown and has stingers like a scorpion, but it has a metal breastplate. He's talking about helicopters. They didn't have a word for helicopter back then. But if you take his description and you put it on an Apache helicopter, well, look at there. That's exactly what he was talking about. We were told that Jesus was going to come back to us in the clouds. Who said it was going to be white, puffy clouds? Maybe it's the computing cloud. And I'm not saying it is, but I mean, you have to open your mind to the concept of the word and meaning you were taught as a child or as a young adult is not what was meant. It was because they didn't have a word for it then as to what it is now. Sorry, guys, I'm getting the hiccups. But you see what I'm saying? Like, we have to unlearn and open your mind so that you can see things from a different perspective, if that makes sense. Like, all these words, like, who would have known that the word church means house of Satan? I would have never known it. You know how many churches I've been to? And I was talking with somebody the other day, and we were talking about flipping tables and that you shouldn't be exchanging money and selling goods and stuff, in the church. And they were like, oh, well, that's not what that means. So then I had to get out a piece of paper and show them how the temple was and the ramp was that you walked up to it, and that these people essentially turned the house of the Lord into a flea market. They were selling trinkets and offerings on the way up to the temple. And that's why Jesus flips the tables. Because you're not supposed to be doing that at a place of worship. It ain't got nothing to do with that. The food that you take into your body to eat, if you eat food in the presence of somebody that just irritates you, or you don't want to be there and you have a bad feeling, when you take that food in, your body will not process it positively. If you eat french fries in a bad mood, or have lunch with somebody you really don't want to be there with, and you eat those french fries, your body's going to take it in and do the bad things with it. The cholesterol's going to build up, the fat's going to go there. If you eat those french fries in a happy situation with somebody that you love and adore, your body is going to process it as energy and it's going to be clean. This is why when you're in a relationship and you're not happy, you start getting fat. But when you leave that unhappy situation and you eat the exact same food, you start losing weight. It's because you've taken the stress out of it. And meals are supposed to be something that is gathered and enjoyed and blessed, and it's supposed to be an event. It's not supposed to be those things.
Sorry, I don't mean to be so quiet. I got a bunch of children asking for money. So,
Imagine that.
imagine that.
Imagine that. The little crotch goblins want some money.
Well, see, it is birthday week for my son, and then the next week after that, it's my daughter's birthday. So it's like the one time that I'm like, all right, you can have money.
My ex-husband hated it when I called my children crotch goblins. He did not like that at all.
My dad called me. That's that. That's funny.
Well, they are little goblins. They be gobbling up all your dang money for the
Mm,
next 30 to 45 years. And yes, I mean 30 years. I have two 31-year-olds in my household, and they still be gobbling up my money.
it's
And they
never
children.
ending. Yep. I was like, and then it spreads to more children.
More children and more children. And then you got nieces and nephews. And I'm broke. That's my new thing. I'm broke. I ain't got no money. I'm broke. I need a loan. Can I borrow some? Mm, I'm wore out in the can I have $5 department.
Yeah. Oh no. I got the teenagers, so it's can I have $20?
Oh yeah. Soon it'll be can I have 50? Cause you
But
ain't
then
leaving the
now
house no more without breaking a 50.
you know what's insane right now is he's getting birthday clothes. So for $220, I bet he comes home with like 3 shirts.
Girl, he gonna come home with 2 shirts and a sneakers bar in California. I'm telling y'all, I bought a pack of cigarettes and a Mountain Dew, and it cost me $40. 40, count them, 40, 220s.
Girl, I spent $11 on a bean rice and cheese burrito from Stater Brothers today. And I was like,
You
oh,
must have wanted that burrito awful bad.
I didn't know until I got to the register and I was like, this is $11. What the? It's fine.
Yes, Diana, the first 40 years are the hardest.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And then you die. When your children reach 40, you're close to death. They feel bad because you're looking all crippled and homely and bent over and you want a social security check and you're barely surviving. That's the only reason we stop supporting them is because they feel pity on us that they have been like little succubus and drained us dry until then.
I'm already halfway there, girl. Where's
No,
my
no, no, not you. The children. When the children reach 40,
but that's what I'm saying though. Like I'm already halfway there. What the heck? It's fine.
it ain't stopping no time soon. Yours is fixing to get married. You might as well start. You better go get you a backhoe and dig that gold mine somewhere. Because that girl's fixing to roll you a new
Keep
one.
telling everybody California Gold Rush 2.0. There's still plenty out here. And I keep wanting to get my father-in-law in on it. And he's down for it. It's just like every time we get down to it, it's like I'm tired. But
I'm
yeah,
tired.
it takes work.
I actually saw a guy the other day that was taking big chunks of quartz and were putting, he had built a fire and he would take the chunks of quartz and put down in the embers of that fire and keep it hot for a couple of hours. Then he would take the quartz out and put it in water. When you busted it open, the fire and the pressure inside of the quartz had created gold. Oh yeah, girl, he was pulling chunks of gold out of that. I don't know if somebody out there in our chemical crowd could like see if that's possible. Hey, Diana, can you my chemical rock girl and copper and things of that nature. So let's see if we can take some quartz and get it hot and make some gold. And if it does, we will all meet in Mount Pilot because there's plenty of it up there. We will get this going.
And again, if any of you SoCal people out there want to get together and do some panning for gold, I'm in. We'll make it a party.
We can make anything a party, girl. Like woo woo, puff puff pass. Let's have a party. See, people don't understand that about us smokers. That like we ain't trying to get wild. We just want a comfortable beanbag, some Cheetos, a cold drink, and like a good documentary to watch or something.
Yeah.
We're not out there robbing banks or committing crimes. Like
No,
who's got the energy to do that?
or if we do have energy to do stuff, we're gonna go out in the wild and go pan for gold or get quartz to
and
make.
find good takeout food. Like all we're worried about is like snacks and who's rolling the next one. Like, see, I want to be special enough that I have somebody hired that does nothing but roll for me, like Snoop Dogg, like a full time roller.
Well, I got a friend who owns a company who has a couple of people who roll for him.
That's a lot of smoke, man. If it gets to the point I'm that lazy, I don't need to be smoking. If I'm so distracted that I can't roll one, something has gone wrong in life.
Something's gone wrong. I think we're too old for. We have a tolerance. We'd have to like.
Well, I did find this out the other day, very interesting fact, because I know some of us that smoke, especially some of the ones watching this show, we are of a higher IQ. People who have a higher IQ and smoke have a tendency to not be able to get what they consider high. You don't get high, you get peaceful.
Yeah, just chill.
You get peaceful. It gives you the calm and the quiet.
Focus. It
Yeah,
gives you
focus.
focus.
It takes my ADD and turns it from like a 10 to a 5, maybe 6. Like it's hard to get that calm down because normally my brain's running 200 directions at once anyway.
Well, it's interesting too because I found out with my passing out condition that I've had since like I was 11. Um, oh shoot, I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, they used to think that it was epilepsy kind of related, although it does, in a sense, have a relation to it, but it's nothing like it. But in essence, though, cannabis actually helps epilepsy and
Yes, it
like
does.
it helps to calm down seizures. Well, it also really helps my passing out condition because all my body goes into fight or flight mode and it causes me to black out. So if depending on the situation, a lot of the times heightened anxiety or like hard hitting, I get scared out of nowhere. I could literally pass out. But
You're like a fainting goat.
yeah, kind of. But it helps to level that. And I don't have as much need for passing out because my body is more equal. I'm a little bit more on an equal ground instead of so up or down.
I wonder if we fed weed to the fainting goats, would they still faint?
Anybody got some fainting goats we could try this on?
I'm just asking.
Why do you guys watch us sometimes? I'm sorry.
It's just questions, man. It's a true medical question because if cannabis helps people with epilepsy and Tourette's and like your fainting conditions, if it'll help us humans, it would probably help them poor little goats.
And Parkinson's, because it
Oh
calms
yeah.
your nervous system. Again,
Hmm.
when you have a disruption in your nervous system, it is your electrical system. It is what triggers the way you feel. If you're injured, they're there so you're injured, and you can do something about it. But it runs your whole electrical system. It's the basis of everything. Runs from your brain down to the tip of your spine and all throughout. And so if it's disrupted, a lot of the times it's because it's in fight or flight mode, having to do with your vasovagal um,
Hmm.
uh, nerve mainly. That if that's disrupted, your nervous system, you can't control your muscles all the time. There's so many different offshoots of things that can happen when your nervous system is disrupted, and this helps to balance that. You're no longer like extremely up or down. You're not in fight or flight mode because your nervous system is calm. That's the
Well,
best way I can put it.
another one of these tidbits. We're at about an hour and a half, so I guess we'll finish up with some of our tidbits here. But one of the things we've talked about SSRIs on here before, serotonin reuptake inhibitors, which are your levaquin, your effects or what? I'm not going to tell the whole story,
No,
Shannon.
I just saw the Parkinson's goats. Okay, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Anyway, when you take these SSRIs, they have been well aware the whole time that after you take serotonin reuptake inhibitor drugs, that it can cause the parts down there that you wrestle with, it will cause numbness and dysfunction. They have known this the whole time, that it will cause literal numbness, like you will not be able to feel your wrestling parts, whether you are female or male.
Think about how many pharmaceuticals have chemical ingredients that disrupt your nervous system
And your reproductive system.
and your reproductive system. But even
The hell,
still,
the
if
Pop
you
Tarts have got
disrupt
that
the
in it.
nervous system, you can very well easily disrupt the fertility. So it kind of
Mm-hmm.
goes hand in hand. So
Mm-hmm.
uh,
I know. Damn crooks. Crooks and cons and
put
schemers and
I want
murderers.
a neuro chip.
Mhm.
We'll give you a nervous system.
Yeah. Stay out of my nervous system. I'm nervous enough. I'm trigger happy already. I'm already trigger happy. We don't need to make me jumpy. I will cut you with my scissors.
Clayton, that's a very good thing to bring up. Here, I'll just show this comment. Seizures and things along those lines, yes, have biblical proof that that is a demonic attack. And so when you're thinking about it, if you're if they are purposely causing
Hmm.
problems with your nervous system, they're opening the doors for incessant demonic attack. Your electrical system is not working out, and they've tried to put people like us on beta blockers and things like that when I was young, when they didn't know any better, which just opened more doors and brought the heart into it. It was no good. So that's why prayer and a natural means, when you have a physical, actual heart, like physical problem with that nervous system, it's not always like 100% like I still got demons or anything along those lines, but it did have a lasting physical effect on at least me and some other people I know. So things still can happen and occur, but it's very, very rare anymore. I just kind of wanted to say that because I do believe there is a link with demonic things when it comes to seizures, when it comes to schizophrenia, when it comes to a lot of mental illnesses, a lot of certain things. I mean, illness in itself is demonic, as we realize that a lot of it is based off of parasites and fungus. We can't forget fungus because that is also a living, it's like a neural net. Fungus has what is called mycelium. A lot of the times when you're thinking of fungus, you're thinking of, mushrooms and the stuff that you eat, or, maybe athlete's wood, or, something like that. But every fungus works the same. Fungus mold, it's a neural net. It's a nervous system, and it communicates like a brain, like a mass brain. And underground, where all the trees are, say like up in Northern California in the redwoods, there is a massive, massive neural net of fungi that is growing underneath the ground and communicates with everything. So it's a big brain neural net. So, in tandem with parasites and fungi, they are disrupting our whole system through that, and it is demonic. Yes, it is. And it also can have lasting physical effects that, God willing, through prayer will heal someday. If not, sometimes these are just the lasting residual effects that we go through as we are being humbled in our life. You know what I mean? But I just, yeah, that was a really good point. But I just kind of wanted to put it out there that even though it's not something that's there anymore, I know I've been delivered from those things because I can guarantee you, yes, demonic stuff that they put in me had everything to do with that. But it does have a lasting residual effect that I get to have for as long as God wants me to. So,
Girl, the residual effects I've got from chemotherapy,
well,
man. Chemotherapy is the most horrible thing on earth, I do believe. One of the most horrible medical treatments on earth, and it is absolutely unnecessary. Cancer is parasites. Explaining to people that you can cure yourself for less than $500 for your full round of treatment versus $2.1 million that was spent by my insurance company to cure me of cancer. And it put me in the hospital 4 times because it had come so close to killing me on 4 different occasions by wiping my system out. But I was listening to a what used to be a physician this morning. She has turned in her medical license. She no longer wants anything to do with the medical system. She is one of us. And she said that in all of her years of being a physician, she had realized that even though people are sick, when they come to you and you give them a diagnosis, that whatever it is sets in and accelerates. She said she honestly believes that giving people a diagnosis is like witchcraft. You are casting a spell on them because once your mind accepts that you have it, your body gives up fighting. She
mm,
turned in her medical license because she said she will never diagnose anybody else with a disease. She will look at a way to fix the culmination of the symptoms, but she's not diagnosing diseases anymore.
it's amazing you said that because Dan, who we used to have on the Supernatural show, who I was very close to, I just absolutely miss him so much. But he was so staunch on that was a contract that he refused to sign off on. He would not accept that. He's like, if you accept their contract, then you're done for. Yes, did he pass away? Yeah. But it was God's timing for him. He was in his 70s. He had battled a lot of health stuff over the years, and he was a prayer warrior. That guy got rid of black goo, made it disappear through the power of Jesus. I kid you not. And he was so staunch on that. And I agree. And I know I've again said this before on a show, but since Obamacare, they have changed the coding system for everything in the computers for the medical system, and they're called SNOMED codes, and that is literally demons spelled backwards,
Mm-hmm.
like literally. So you're getting your nice little demon code every diagnosis in the
Just
computer.
just in case anybody wants to know, the code for narcissistic personality disorder is F60.81. Mm-hmm. I actually have people saved in my phone. I put in that medical code because that's what they are.
So
See, I
Ever
play.
wants to look through the paperwork in the Obamacare stuff? You should. It's very entertaining.
Well, I
So,
find now that I save people in my phone. You get your first name in there. That's it. And you better hope you know your name ain't Joe because you ain't got but 3 strikes. Because if you lie to me or you are not the person you say to be, every time you screw up with me, I remove a letter from your name. We playing hangman. If you a 3 letter, 3 tries and you out. You are blocked. You are gone from my phone. You better hope your name is 20 letters if you bad for screwing up, because it won't take you long to be gone.
I
I
have
will,
7 letters.
girl. I keep adding letters to yours because I mean, like I'm giving you a new name.
Shenanigans. I get a lot of people call me that.
That would be your name, Shenanigans.
My stepdad sent me a thing called the Shenanigator, someone who investigates shenanigans.
We are investigators of the shenanigans.
I was like, dude, you called it. That's me. Shenanigans.
I'm just
Oh God,
trouble.
I'm laughing too much today. You know what? That's okay. I needed it. I've been growing.
Laughter is fantastic medicine,
Yeah.
and there are actual medicine in your tears. There are chemicals in your tears which help your body to heal from grief and pain.
Well, I have been highly medicated this last week.
I'm about to go out on the porch and find me some medication because out of Swanee, I had one rolled up and ready to go before I ever went to this sporting event, and now it is missing. So either I have thrown it away, or we have to go on a search, or we got to go roll because it's been a long day since we started sports today.
Mm,
Girl,
mm.
I just went into the smallest ice cream parlor in my town with like 68-year-olds.
Oh God
Every
bless.
recreational team in the world wanted to go to one ice cream parlor to eat ice cream today after sports.
Oh God bless you, dear.
Girl, me and the other moms was standing in the store and we were all starting to twitch and our eye was like flicking, and we actually looked at each other and we were like, okay, how many people do we need to take? Because there were like tables outside of this little ice cream place. We were like, one of you take the children, and the rest of us mothers will stand here and get the ice cream and bring it out to them. But please remove some of these children from the building. Like I can't do this.
It's a little bit. I mean,
It was a bit much. Cause like our coach, she's like, let's go eat ice cream. It's the girls' last game. Let's let them spend a little fun time together. Well, evidently, 4 or either 5 other teams did, because lots of teams had their last game tonight, whether it was volleyball or baseball or soccer. They all decided they wanted ice cream. We only got 2 ice cream shops in this town of 130,000 people, and both of them are smaller than a minute. Like this building is so old, the bathroom is on the outside, but it's like the oldest, coolest ice cream shop in town. It's a Tasty Freeze.
yeah, a lot of little ones.
Female little ones, screaming,
For ice
squealing
cream,
10-year-old girls.
screaming for ice cream.
Yes, who are all jacked up because we've been playing volleyball for over an hour. It was a lot.
That's a
And I
lot.
don't take drugs. If I took drugs, I'd have took a handful of them before we ever went on that adventure today.
That's okay, girl. I mean, there have been a few days this week where, even though I quit drinking, I was like, dang, a shot right now, just right now. But
Either out of a bottle or a gun. Either one would have solved the problem.
something. But no, it's cool. I was strong. I was strong because of Jesus.
Trust me, that mental midget day I had Sunday was good night, Clayton. He says he's losing service. Text us later, boo boo. But yeah, Sunday was one of them days. Like I haven't had a drink in quite some time. I don't ever have the urge to drink. It gives me heartburn every time I try. Just like I'm an alcohol can stay over there. Just roll me up one. Like you can drink alcohol and it'll take hours to come back to your normal in control. I can roll one up and smoke in 30, which I never lose control, but 30 minutes later I'm dead sober. You can't do that with alcohol. And alcohol is actually, in any kind of excess, is damaging the cells in your body.
I,
Cannabis ain't, is helping them.
yeah, I literally, all confession time, guys. I literally completely quit drinking almost a year ago now, which I'm very proud of myself. But yes, this is while I'm still doing the shows, and I went through some stuff, right? We all go through some stuff. And I had another death that happened because of her abuse with alcohol and other things that I didn't know about because I didn't have social media, and it hit me hard. And I took to that instead of prayer, and it was like the worst thing I could have ever done. It sure did get me to quit drinking forever. But I tell you, grief is a bad thing. If you don't deal with it,
Mm-hmm.
it'll bite you in the butt and you make stupid decisions.
Yep.
So,
You cannot continue to carry emotions in
mm,
buckets long after that time is gone, because in buckets gonna get heavy.
yeah. I mean, if I was one of those people who could just have a beer or two, that'd be one thing. But girl,
See, I don't like
I'm
beer.
built with the genetics of hardcore alcoholics on the
Ain't
devil
it?
side of the
Ain't
family.
it?
Okay? If I didn't have the angel side with the really sensitive system, I would have been screwed. I'd be like my poor cousin Bob. Anyways, that's fine. We're not gonna go there, but
Oh
you know.
Lord, what is Clayton named us now? Shenanigator and Roxy Roller. See, I used to dream of being on a roller derby team. Like I thought that would be a good way to get my aggression out. I want to be on a roller derby team.
Yeah, and I love investigating shenanigans. So
Yeah. We are the Scooby Doo team. The dysfunctional Scooby Doo. That's who we are. We don't mind. We try to tell you guys exactly who we are, what we've done, where we've been, and how we scraped our knees. Because I ain't ashamed of it.
it's important to be honest too, like
Transparent.
transparent, because none of us are perfect. We all have moments, and you know, I mean, I'm not saying I was some kind of crazy hardcore alcoholic these last couple of years, but
No, but I ain't by no means been a saint.
it definitely wasn't doing anything good for me. So,
I ain't by no means been a saint.
mm,
But every saint has a past, and every sinner's got a future.
yeah. Praise Jesus, but I'm
Amen.
free from alcohol. Just like
Shanna's
a
gonna give
little
us a singing encore.
part.
Oh, now we're getting the echo again for some reason. It's only on my end. I don't know why. Hey,
You try
Shaggy,
to pass
pass
the
the baggies so Scooby can roll a doobie. I love it, Big E. That's what I want put. See, that's what I want put on my tombstone if I have to have one. Hey, Shaggy, pass the baggies so Scooby can roll a doobie. I love you, Big E. Oh, I love you, dude.
Well, see, on that note, I think it's a great time to say goodnight. Because a lot of people are like, I gotta go.
These people getting weird.
What's going
Listen, nothing compares to weird that I saw at the Speedway today, guys. And it is sports bike weekend. There are going to be lots of shenanigans, and I will try to retrieve some of those pictures off social media because I'm telling you, these sports bike, they will be girls down here in the 300 plus pound department strapped up on the back of a sports bike in a thong. Not that y'all want to see that. I'm just saying, there's going to be all kinds of stuff because these people down here get freaky on
See,
sports
babe,
bike week.
this is like every day. in certain areas. I'm not saying this is everywhere in Southern California. Do not get me wrong, okay? Roxy can attest to that, okay? Not everybody's that wild, but if I would have taken you to LA or certain parts of Orange County that were a little less high end, it would have been very entertaining. You
I'd have
would
probably
have had
been
your
walking
camera
back
out
to
the
the
whole
airport when
time.
you and Lisa come by. Been too much. Too much. I'd have been in jail. Like I just would have. I'd have been in
I
jail.
shocked you guys enough with my sparkle outfit and crown and sign.
I couldn't handle it, man. I just can't handle these people walking around with other people on leashes. I mean, like I don't hope she's doing that for pleasure. I hope at least if she's doing that, that old grubby pimp she was with is paying her well. Cause them shoes looked uncomfortable as hell. I'm telling you, like old girl, she gonna have some ugly feet when she's a senior citizen. Cause the bunions, her big toe is gonna be flapped over her pinky over there. That
Yeah,
was too much.
the fetish community, dear, they like to be
Weird.
seen.
She
They're
looked like a walking blow up doll. Yep.
yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna get out here.
No,
Everybody, puff puff pass. Remember, say your prayers.
yes.
Be nice to your neighbor. Hold the door for a stranger. Smile at somebody. Be thankful. Be grateful. And until Thursday night, we love you.
Yay, and Jesus loves you.
He sure do. He said so.
That's right.
Good night. Bye.
Good night.